where he's going to try to take me. Cause like, I'm not just going anywhere. And at this point I wasn't eating meat, and I was eating like predominantly like vegetarian, I would say, for the most part. So I'm like, okay, where's he going to choose? Let's see what he comes up with. And so that was going to be, I was just waiting for you to give me an excuse so I could be like, no.
And you didn't even know I wasn't eating meat either.
I sure didn't know that. I didn't know anything that I later learned about you that was more compatible with me than, yeah, I never would have guessed it. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, where, when, and where? And you're like, how about being vegan in Charlotte at 6? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I had been wanting to go to Being Vegan, but I didn't have anyone that would go there with me because most of the people in my circle weren't eating like that. So I didn't have anyone that would go with me. So I'm like, okay, we can do that. I'm like thinking like, all right, this might be cool. Like, okay. So I get back the next morning and then we meet. And I feel like it was just history from that moment on. Because it was like, we went there to eat, but we were in there for like 45 minutes and no one waited on us.
We didn't even eat there.
We didn't eat at all.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because we were just sitting waiting for someone to come to us and no one came to us.
Yeah.
So.
Then we went somewhere else. Where we go? Is that when we went to Luna's kitchen?
Nope, that was later. We went to, is there more than one Carmen Market? Because I remember what you got. You got buffalo cauliflower.
Oh, we went to the Common Market on the south side.
Okay, yeah. We went there. Yeah. And I don't know if I don't think I got anything to eat.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think I got anything to eat. But yeah, so we went there, and then some people, you were talking to some people, you had them meet us up there. And then
my coworker met us up there.
And I think it was a girl. Yes. And she met us up there. And then from there, we went to another place and another place because it was the pandemic. So everybody was looking for something to do.
Right, yeah.
Basically. Something that I learned during the pandemic was how important people are and relationships are. Because when everything stopped, all you really had, if you had anything, was the relationships that you had. And I think that was the hardest thing for me to grapple with, was that I had none. None that actually were of value. And so, yeah, I think the whole world was kind of realizing that. Or maybe the whole world, or maybe just the people in Charlotte. But so it was like everyone was looking to people at that time. And so you were surrounded by people. And so there was always somewhere to go. And so I was just with you.
Yeah. It's like ever since that day we was together. I mean, we've been together every day since.
Every day since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because early in the morning, I would just call you and be like, hey, what you doing? And I'd be like, come to me.
I know, and I used to be
you
like,
would always come.
What?
Yeah. You would always show up, which was cool because I wanted to hang out with you.
Yeah.
But I also was going everywhere. Like my days, I would be here, there. Like I was driving all around Charlotte all day long.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So we're just doing that for a few months. Just, I'm working from home. Still kind of going back and forth to Colorado, hanging out with you any chance that I get. And then
it got to the point where I was like, just bring your laptop with you. Like, you can do work in the car. Like, you don't have to.
Yeah, because I wouldn't come to.
I think I even got you a hotspot so you could do your work in the car.
Yeah, it was like a whole situation. Yeah. But luckily, I wasn't that busy at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would always stay home in the mornings because it was like, well, until I was pretty much done with my work because I needed my 2 screens. It was easier that way. And so when I was done with my work, then I would come to you. And I would come to where you were.
And that wasn't enough for me. I wanted you all day.
So then, okay, so that's how we met. So then we're like hanging out and I'm not really knowing what this is. I just know that I like to be with you. It feels great. You're nice, you're kind. I felt like you actually saw me. And not me by my outward appearance, but just like me, the me inside. The me that I felt like I always wanted someone to see, but no one ever seemed to see. I felt like you saw and you
Yeah.
still were reaching for me. And so it was drawing me to you. And then I'm just like puzzled because I'm like, nothing about this man makes sense. His name don't make sense. The people he hangs out with doesn't make sense. What he looks like versus his character and what I'm observing in him doesn't make sense. And then it was like you hung out with men and women and they all liked you the same. And you were just so kind and like I remember we were at Optimus Hall one time and it's like you only really tip when you're sitting at a restaurant and you're being waited on. But we would go there and order food to go and you would like literally tip the people. And I'm like, who tips for a to go order? Like, this is just, and it was just puzzling to me because I'm like, your character and the person that I was observing you to be didn't match what I felt like I was seeing and the people that you were around, if that made sense. And then some of your, I mean, like the fact that you smoked and drank, like, it just didn't make sense to me. And then you weren't like pursuing me sexually or anything. So I'm like, I'm so confused. I had never experienced that with a man like ever in my life. Usually it's immediate, you know, they just see your physical appearance and they just want you or whatever. Or it's just, you know, some kind of a way they say something or just something like that, but you weren't doing any of that. And I was just like, I liked it.
Yeah.
It made me feel comfortable with you and more safe with you and just more curious about who you were. And I also like the fact that you cared about the people that you were around. And even though you had just met them, I didn't know you had just met them, but I thought you were so caring and kind towards them. Like I was observing that. So then I think we were at my house. I want to say you were helping me put up the gazebo on my deck or something. Was it that time? I don't know. But you were at my house one day and you just asked me out of the blue. So what are you trying to do with me? And I'm like, I'm not trying to do anything. Like, I have no agenda, like, at all. Like, I just think, I mean, I like hanging out with you. I think this is great.
Yeah, because I'm like, I mean, we've been hanging out 2 months. We've been together every day. I'm like, what are we doing? Or what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And I was unprepared for that question. Completely unprepared because I'm like,
Yeah, threw you
I don't,
off.
yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just like what we're doing right now. And then, I mean, this is when we had to talk about a little bit about our beliefs because I'm like, I don't believe in love. I don't believe people have the ability to be monogamous and be faithful in that regard.
Yeah, and I didn't believe anybody could be faithful or loyal in general. Like that belief system was completely out the window.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody I grew up with, we just kind of crossed each other. We were never faithful. Like any chance we get to do what we wanted to do or please our own desires, that's what we did. And we didn't really think about the other person. So women, men, I mean, it's just kind of how I was raised. So
Yeah. And for
yeah,
me, I had never seen love.
yeah,
I had heard people say that they loved, but their action says something completely different. And I was always like, if that's what love is, I don't want anything to do with it.
yeah,
And I had never in my life seen a healthy relationship between a man and a woman. Like, never. Never seen it. And because I had never seen it, I didn't believe it was real. I literally thought it was just make believe movies and just something that people desire, but it's like that thing you're never really going to have. Like, heck, we wish we could fly, but we're never actually going to fly, you
right,
know?
yeah,
So I just thought it was just one of those kinds of things. And I had finally come to that point where if you just accept these things in people, then you can't really be hurt, you know? And so that's what I shared with you. I was like, yeah, I don't believe in any of that stuff, and but I like what we're doing. And so then that's when, yeah, you said, you were like, so do you want to just keep doing what we're doing and just, I mean, make sure that we're honest with one another, and just you keep whatever you're doing when you're not with me to you, and I keep whatever I'm doing I'm not with you to myself. And I was just like, yeah, because I'm thinking in my mind, this sounds great, because I also had never seen, I really didn't believe that men were, well, I don't want to say that men were a certain way. I just had never seen a man before. I guess I had never seen a man acting in his role as a man. I had never seen that. So, from my experiences with men, it was like, he's only good for this, he's only good for that. And so, you have different men in your life to meet the different needs, because you're not going to find that in one man. Right.
Right. Yeah.
So, it's like, this man might be someone that I like to have intellectual conversations with. This one, he might be a handyman, can fix things and help me out with stuff. This one might know something about cars. This one might like to go to fancy restaurants with me, and it'll be, you know, so you just have a different guy for the different things,
Right.
you know, and you can never find it all in one. And then if you think you want to be maybe serious with someone, they want to like rule your whole life and control you. And I had just never seen anything healthy or been presented with it prior. So when you said that to me, I was like, yes, this is perfect. This is perfect, because I don't have anyone that makes me feel this way that I'm just so drawn to in my life right now. And so I agreed to it.
And I was okay with it, because I mean, my thought process was, well, if we're not in a relationship technically, then I can't get hurt. So it's kind of like my protection,
Yeah.
you know.
And I didn't even realize that it was a form of protection for me too.
Yeah.
You know, I just accepted it. And the acceptance is the protection, because you lower your expectations, lower your standards. If you accept anything, then, I mean, hey, you got something, you know? And it's unfortunate, because what we were doing was we were making decisions through the lens of trauma.
Yeah.
We were making decisions, life-changing decisions, through the eyes of undealt with trauma. And so when I just stop and think about that, it's like, oh my gosh, how many people in the world today are doing that? How many people are making decisions because they're viewing it through the lens of trauma? And it's like, we didn't really want that.
Right.
So how many people now in the world are experiencing or are in situations that they don't really want?
Yeah.
But they just don't know that they can have something different.
But just the fear of repeating the trauma in their life, they just are okay with it.
Or because they never seen something, they believe that they can't have it.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
And like you said, you settle. You
Yeah.
settle for, well, this is as good as I'm going to get. I mean, I like what this is. I don't want to
Right.
lose this. So, I mean, that's kind of where we were at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can honestly say I had never experienced what I was experiencing with you. The pull was different than anything I had ever experienced prior. And looking back now, it's like, yeah, that was just the Holy Spirit just orchestrating it all. But at the time, I didn't know what it was, you know? So yeah, so we agreed to that. And next time I'm by myself, I'm just like, I'm so excited. And I'm like, I got to call my mom and tell my mom. So I call my mom. I'm super excited about it. I'm thinking my mom's going to be excited for me too. If anybody would, it would be her, because she has many failed, you know, relationships. And I was in for a surprise, because that was not the response I got from her. She was like, Shanae Rose. And I'm just like, what? And she's like, so you basically just agreed to open relationship with a 26-year-old? And I'm like, I had never really thought about it like that, but what do you mean? Like, she's like, Shanae, you deserve so much better than that. You're worth more than that. She's like, Shanae, he could be having, she's like, think about this. She's like, he could be having what he's having with you, he could be having that with all the other girls that he maybe knows or is around. How would that make you feel? She's like, basically, you're telling him he can go do and be with whoever he wants as long as he keeps it from you. And then he's just going to come back to you. She's like, why would you settle for that? You're worth so much more than that. Don't you dare settle for that. And I'm just thinking, and I'm like, I had never really tied any of that into my worth or my value. I was just like, I want love, you know, I want something, and this feels great, and nothing else works. This is the only thing I haven't tried. And so she just was not okay with that. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. We get off the phone. But then I'm still hearing her voice, you know, and I'm like, how would I feel? Because I had never thought about that. And then, two, I'm thinking from the moment that I met you, any other men that I was entertaining, I they done fell off. I didn't want anything to do with them anymore because I was just so into you. It was like they were essentially just falling off because I wasn't making any time for them anymore because I just wanted to be with you. And so I guess in my mind, I'm thinking, well, that if that was the case with you, you know,
I would be doing the same
you're
thing.
doing the same thing. And so
Yeah.
it never even crossed my mind to think that you would want me and anybody else that you could have, because I'm thinking I don't want anybody, I just want him, you know. And so I'm thinking about it, and so it's like when you're not with me, I'm thinking about, oh gosh, who is he with? Oh my goodness, what if he's doing the same thing? And it was just killing me inside, like, because that's all I would think about. And I'm like, it would completely crush me. I would be devastated if he was spending the time that he spends with me with someone else and making them feel how he's making me feel, even though I couldn't really see how you were spending time with anyone else because we were always together. But still, it bothered me so much so that a couple days later, I'm like, listen, we got to talk. And I was so nervous to have this conversation with you because, you know, people always complain about it. I've mostly heard men complain about it. Like, you meet a woman and you're upfront with her and you get in the relationship with her, and then she wants to switch it up on you. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, what if he thinks that I'm just like that and he doesn't want to hang out with me anymore? But I couldn't deal with the fact that you could potentially be seeing other women. So I'm like, I've just got to be upfront. And that was what we agreed to. We agreed to honesty. So I've got to be honest with him. This is how I'm feeling. So I came to you and I told you. And then I just kind of waited to see what you were going to say.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm glad you shared that, because had you not shared it and I would have lost you, like, I wouldn't have been able to take that. And the thought of losing you compelled me to want to just jump out into the unknown and be like, okay, well, if we're not going to do this, then what are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to just try to do something we've never seen, try to have a healthy relationship, try to pursue love. And I mean, we didn't know the first step to take, so we just kind of stuck to the same thing. Let's be honest, you know, let's always communicate and just try our best.
And not expect perfection.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the main things that really stood out to me in that conversation with you, because I felt like my whole life perfection was always put on me, and I always felt like I had to be perfect to be enough, and I still never felt like I was enough. But it was like, as a child, I felt like you had to be perfect, you know, then as an adult you have to be perfect, you know. And then in dating men, you have to be perfect, and if you're not, you're judged. Everything's so conditional. And so I knew that if it was going to be under those conditions, I would fail at it. And so that's why I said, you've been living your life the way you've been living it your whole life up until now. And I've been living my life the way I've been living it my whole life up until now. So we're not just going to be able to do this perfectly. And I remember you agreed, and it was like, and I was like, so I'm not expecting perfection from you. Please don't expect it from me. I'm going to fall short. I'm going to mess up. I don't know how to do this. And we just agreed, knowing ourselves. We extended grace unknowingly to one another,
Yeah.
you know, and we just asked for honesty. If you fail, If something happens, you find yourself in a situation, just come to me and be honest with me, and we'll just work through it. And there's no judgment because I don't have the expectation of perfection.
Yeah.
And I think it is so amazing how us not following the Holy Spirit at all had us come to that, because that's how he looks at us. I don't expect you to be perfect. I have grace for you. It's going to take time for you to work out your old habits.
Yeah.
And knowing that someone is extending grace to you, it makes it feel like something you can actually do, and it gives you a desire to do it.
Yeah, it gives you the ability to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because up until that point, at this point, we weren't following Christ at all. Look,
We
I
hadn't even
wasn't
talked about it.
praying. Yeah, we didn't even have a conversation about Christ,
Mm-mm.
like at all. We didn't
No.
read the Bible. I was selling crystals into like the universe, law of attraction, all those that type of lifestyle. And so, yeah, it's interesting that the Holy Spirit led us to pursue this and make this decision, although we weren't even following him at that time.
And even if you backtrack even more, the fact that he spoke to me and said, "Do you want love?"
Yeah.
And I actually heard it. And not even that I followed it, but it just threw me off so much that I made a choice that I wouldn't even have normally made. But because of that voice that I heard, it led me to you. So I think it's so awesome because it's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't matter. Like, he sees the beginning from the end. He knows who his children are. He knows all things. So you might not be following him now. You might not have the right relationship with him now. You might not even know that you have a relationship with him, and you possibly do. But it's like he still is guiding and leading. Whether you are acting like a Christian, living the lifestyle of a Christian or not, he can see the end. So he knows. And so I think it's so awesome how he protects and he guides and he leads, even when we don't fully understand and know him and follow him in the way that we should. It just shows how great he loves us and how much
Yeah.
mercy and grace that he actually does extend to us.
And once you realize that, like you realize that in hindsight, because he always shows you, like once you do finally come to him and start obeying him and following him, it's like he always shows you, like, look back over your life.
Yeah, he takes you back.
I've been with you this whole time. Why do you think you made that decision? It was because of me. It's because I was protecting you. Like, how do you think you got through that situation? And it's like, it was him. Even in our darkness, even when we weren't choosing him, he still
was choosing
us.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So that is where basically we just were like, okay, are we going to do this? We don't know what it is. We've never seen it. We've never done it, but let's just do it. And we just agreed to enter into this union that we didn't even know the Holy Spirit was leading us into. He had just put the thought in my head to put worship music on. And so, you were out and I'm home working, and a thought came to me to put some worship music on. And so I put some worship music on and I just started worshiping. I just was singing the songs and I was getting into it and I was worshiping. And then I just felt this intense presence enter the room. And it was so intense that it scared me. Like, it scared me so badly that I turned the music off and I just stopped everything. And I'm just like, okay, what is this? And it was like this, it was so intense that I felt afraid.